on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Evan McPherson has this one teed up, and off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. They run with a dangerous Saquon Barkley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
Hurts sets up to throw it. It's complete to Brown, right side. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Second down and 3. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. They were looking good on second down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. Now Hurts going to keep it running left. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. That one will go for 9 yards and a first down on the keeper. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. A handoff to Barkley on the option. And he is going to be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bengals 41. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Here's Hurts to throw. And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley. And he'll go down at the 28. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Throwing is Hurts. Man open left side is Brown. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Hurts connecting there with Brown for the Eagles first. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Hurts. He's got Smith here. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Back to throw here. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. From the gun, it's Hurts. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. Saquon Barkley denied on 4th down. And this defense holds on the night's opening drive. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They defer to Brown to start the drive. And he'll use his blockers to get this up over the 20 to the 21. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And this will be caught by Brown. And down he'll go at the 25. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
On 1st and 10, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. So they keep the football, but now face 2nd and long. Now Burrow. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
Now it's Burrow. He finds his man, complete. It's Hudson. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Burrow will throw. Flushed out right. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Burrow on his toes that time as they get the first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
They will toss to Brown. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Right back to Brown. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Burrow looking to pass. He'll look to Gesicki on the out route. Ball is caught. And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. And now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Mike Gesicki, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their 2nd drive. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now second quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. Out left to Dotson. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down. They'll give it to Barkley off the option play. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. They'll get this out to Barkley complete. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll look to throw here. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Buying time to his left. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
No shortage of impressive moments from him thus far. Now he's halfway to the century mark, and we're still in the 1st half. There's been no answer for his running ability so far by the defense. I can't wait to see what adjustments they'll have to make during the halftime break.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Target is to Dotson, and he's got him. And the Eagles are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jalen Hurts. A 3-yard run as he kept it himself. And the Eagles are an extra point away from evening this one up.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Elliott good with a PAT, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Here's Burrow. And this is caught. It's Brown. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for Cincinnati. 46 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
Shotgun handoff to Brown here. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now a 3rd and 6. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. They snap that at 1. Now it's Burrow. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. So that one a disaster. A big loss there with 2nd down coming up.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. That's just why I don't play in points per reception fantasy leagues.
Is that what they call
the receiver
PPR?
still gets a point there. Yeah.
Oh,
and you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game.
He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Chase Brown, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals have taken the lead. A CD, and now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Brown diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Philadelphia's offense ready to go again.
And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
On third down, Barkley. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it again with Barkley. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Hurts. Throw right side complete to Dotson. Just a gain of a couple there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. Hurts sets up to throw it. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down. Throwing is Hurts. Got him in. It's Brown. And A.J. going to pick up an Eagles first down as he's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
Here's Hurts to throw. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So after a rare misstep on this drive, they'll try to make amends on 2nd and 15. Another try after the first down sack. Hurts. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Jake Elliott readies for the field goal try. He was originally drafted by the Bengals. This one from 46 yards out. The kick by Elliott is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now Burrow. Open man is Higgins. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
And they've got a little under 40 seconds to go if they want to try to put something together here. Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. Now it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Burrow will throw. Now a short one to Gesicki. Only able to gain a couple there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Second down and 8. Burrow looking to pass. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And Burrow going to throw again.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt.
And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10.
Yeah, the Eagles going to get one final possession in this first half. And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just one play.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Elliott now to kick this one away.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Bengal offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
Yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
2nd and 10.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
That was an okay hookup there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Now 3rd down and 7.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 32-yard line. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
That one caught by all, the tight end.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 23 yards, the final tally.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Touchdown, Bengals!
Andre Yoshivas
From 3 yards out.
and the Bengals take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. Gets this out quickly to Dotson. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. From the gun, it's Hurts. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And that will be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively, and you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals offense returns to the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Here's Burrow. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. Now it's Burrow. This pass complete to Higgins. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose, and boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Second down and 4. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that one complete once again to Higgins. And Higgins is going to have a Bengals first down as he'll get this down to the 40. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. An inside give, Brown. Tackle there by big Jordan Davis.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd and 5. The slot man in motion right. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 2 straight runs of 5 yards, 1st and 10.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And the tight end goes in motion left. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Now a short one to Gesicki. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
This is Brown going up the middle. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. Oh, look at the juke. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll set up to throw. And he's got it. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Jalen Carter in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
3rd and goal, Burrow. And that one behind his receiver and incomplete.
I had to do a double take on that one, Brandon, because so far in this game, we haven't seen many of his passes fall incomplete.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. McPherson's kick is good. And the lead grows to 14 at 24-10. So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 26.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Out route, and it's complete to Brown.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
More muscle up front for this 2nd and 2. They've got 3 tight ends out there. A handoff to Barkley on the option. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a 1st down. So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Again, it's Barkley. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 8. Complete, it's Dotson.
No gain on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. 1st down, 18-yard gain. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10.
They'll give it to Barkley off the option play.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And Goddard going to have an Eagles 1st down as he'll get this down to the 30-yard line.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot. Not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his 1st catch. Big reason they're losing right now. And this will be caught by Brown. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
It'll be Hurts on the option.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown.
Jalen Hurts with his second touchdown of the night. And the Eagles have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. And we may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Well, now how about this return? And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Quick slant caught by Chase. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Brown. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there. Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot or running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Now Burrow. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 38-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
Now it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Second down and a yard. Burrow will throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. First down.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the Bengals have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Taken at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. That'll give them 8 that time, and they'll be left with second and a couple. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You've got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Throwing is Hurts. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Barkley, inside handoff, and he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Out left side here to Bryant, and he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Again to Bryant, and again it's caught. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Got a man, it's Brown. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Just need a yard here, 2nd and 1. Up the middle with Barkley. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
As Smith in motion right. Hurts sets up to throw it. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Hurts. This is caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts on target to Dallas Goedert. And the Eagles have got it back to within a score. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the fourth.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's second down. And they go play action now. Burrow. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Burrow looking to pass. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. And that's on the guard, Cody Ford. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. From the gun, a give to Brown. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Eighth play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. They give it to Brown, and he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. Hurts and the Eagles now down by 7. 65 seconds remaining. They'll have to go 90-plus yards, and a field goal does them no good as they've got it with a 1st down. He's back to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
They'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. What a gut punch. That should be the nail in the coffin with those 2 points, making this a 2-score game now with time, Charles, clearly not on their side.
Yeah, they have to give the football away as well. Had a chance. Yeah, it was a small chance to get down the field, but guess what? This one's now just about over.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. Burrow down to a knee, and that should be the final act of this one. So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did. And just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.